One second, gravity feels perfectly normal. The next, every object on Earth suddenly weighs twice as much, changing life in an instant. The first signs wouldn't be collapsing buildings. They would be millions of ordinary things suddenly becoming far too heavy to move. Gravity is invisible, yet it quietly controls every step we take, every heartbeat, and every orbit in the solar system. So what would actually happen if Earth's gravity suddenly became twice as strong, while everything else remained exactly the same? The answer goes far beyond feeling heavier. Every hidden system on Earth would immediately begin adapting to a completely new force. Most people think heavier gravity only makes walking harder. But your own body would become the first system forced to fight for survival. Every movement would require dramatically more energy, because every muscle in your body would suddenly carry twice the load. Flight would become one of the first major challenges. Many birds could no longer fly, and aircraft performance would decline immediately. Gravity doesn't only pull people downward, it also squeezes the atmosphere closer to Earth's surface, changing how air behaves. Everything begins with gravity. Strengthen that invisible force, and nearly every natural process on Earth immediately starts behaving differently. Modern buildings wouldn't collapse instantly, but every structure on Earth would suddenly experience forces far beyond what engineers originally designed for. Materials don't become weaker overnight, but carrying twice the weight would dramatically accelerate fatigue, deformation, and aviation would change almost immediately. Every kilogram of lift would become far more difficult to generate under the stronger pull of gravity. Life would slowly adapt. Taller plants would struggle, while shorter and stronger species would gradually gain an evolutionary advantage. By now, the hidden system becomes clear. Gravity isn't just another force. It quietly shapes nearly every process that makes Earth habitable. A denser atmosphere would change weather itself. Clouds, storms, and rainfall could all behave differently under stronger gravity. Water would flow with greater energy, increasing erosion and reshaping landscapes more aggressively over thousands of years. High mountains would become even more dangerous. Every step would demand greater strength, while surviving at altitude would grow increasingly difficult. Human civilization wouldn't simply continue as before. It would redesign itself around an entirely different physical reality. What seemed like a simple change in weight has revealed something much greater. Gravity quietly connects every hidden system on Earth. Your heart wouldn't suddenly stop, but it would work far harder every second to pump blood against a much stronger gravitational pull. Even standing still would consume more energy, because every movement would require your body to fight gravity continuously. The world's largest animals would face the greatest challenge. Many species might shrink over generations, as life has always adapted to changing conditions. Given enough time, evolution would reshape nearly every species to survive stronger gravity. Humanity would survive not by resisting gravity, but by redesigning technology, architecture, and everyday life around an entirely new reality. Space exploration would change overnight. Rockets would need dramatically more fuel just to reach orbit, making every launch far more difficult. Reaching space would become one of humanity's greatest engineering challenges, slowing scientific progress far beyond Earth's atmosphere. Future cities would grow differently. Instead of building higher, engineers would focus on stronger, wider, and far more efficient designs. The hidden system isn't gravity alone. It's the countless relationships gravity quietly controls across every layer of our planet. By now, one truth becomes undeniable. Doubling gravity wouldn't simply change our weight. Humanity would almost certainly survive, but only by rebuilding civilization around technology powerful enough to compensate for a much heavier world. Future generations might think our world looked impossible, wondering how anyone once lived beneath gravity only half as strong. Evolution would never stop adapting. Over countless generations, life itself would gradually redesign every living body for a heavier planet. The surprising truth is that gravity isn't simply pulling us downward. It quietly shapes everything from biology to planetary motion. A world with twice the gravity wouldn't necessarily become lifeless. It would simply become a completely different version of home. Children born into this world would never know lighter gravity. To them, extraordinary strength would simply feel completely normal. The greatest change wouldn't be what we could see. It would be the invisible force quietly controlling every movement across an entire planet. Double gravity would transform every hidden system at once, proving that Earth's greatest engineering masterpiece is the balance we rarely notice. Sometimes the most powerful force in the universe is also the quietest. We notice it only after imagining life without its familiar balance. What impossible scenario should we explore next? Subscribe to the scenario files for more hidden possibilities.